Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something that has been quite highly requested of you guys, and it is basically how I illustrate on Procreate. Now I'm going to be using the standard brushes that come with the Procreate app. For those of you who don't know, Procreate is an app that you can download for your iPad, and it's a drawing app. Basically, like, think of it as like a simplified Photoshop, but I use Procreate all the time for loads of my illustrations. So I'm basically going to run down what pens and pencils I use on Procreate, what my favourite brushes and stuff are, and basically just, yeah, taking as a creative process on Procreate. I'm also thinking of making this a series of Procreate things, and I'm going to be trying out new brush packs and everything further down the line. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that, me kind of downloading and experimenting with different brush packs. I think that's really, really cool. But for this video, we're just going to be focusing on the brush packs that come automatically installed in Procreate, because that's all I've got at the moment and that's normally all I use. Let's jump into it and open Procreate and get illustrating. I have no idea what I'm going to illustrate. So I've just went ahead and opened Procreate, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a blank canvas. Now usually I work on an A4 canvas, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change the background colour, because normally I do use the background as like a base colour. You can start with white, a lot of people do start with white, but I tend to start with a colour that I want my background to be. And I'm thinking something like a soft purple. I have no idea what I'm going to illustrate, so I'm just going to go over here in the palette section in the corner, and I'm going to select like a nice pinky purple, I think. Seeing as though it's September, let's do some sort of like cozy rainy day feel. So I might do like a grey blue. Okay, so I've just dragged and dropped the canvas. It looks white on the screen, but it's not. It's like this grey blue colour. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the base sketch. Now I always pick my sketches to be in colour, because sometimes I have the sketch showing through the finished illustration, because I like the kind of rough, natural feel it has. But I always sketch with the 6B pencil in the sketching section of Procreate. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sketch something out. I'm feeling like a cozy girl or someone who's cozy, and do I want to do it landscape or portrait? I think portrait, seeing as though it's a girl. So let's get into the sketching. So I'm sketching with a 6B pencil. So I have stupidly just realised that I haven't opened a separate layer for this girl. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to recolour the background. Normally I would open that in a separate layer, but I'm just going to have to select that to white and create a new background, because I normally sketch in a new layer and for some reason I didn't. So, and then I'm going to select this to multiply for my sketch. Yeah, that's fine. Now let's continue with the sketch. For the eraser, when I'm cleaning up the sketch, I just use the round brush for the eraser. You can select any type of brush, but for me the basic round brush does just fine. So I'm just going to erase this bit because I want a coffee cup to go in her hand. So I just need to pencil that in. She's got a really large head. So now I'm just selecting the, what even is this called? This zigzaggy tool thing. And I'm going around her head because the head is a little too large. And I'm just going to adjust it a little bit so it looks a little bit better. There we go, because I want her jacket to look really chunky and kind of oversized. So we've got the basic sketch, and now what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to reduce the opacity of this down, and then I'm going to kind of, yeah, just edit in some of the background. It would be nice to kind of illustrate a little coffee shop behind her here, which would be cute, but we'll be here all day if I do that. Mind you, I can't stop now. Okay, so I've got the basic sketch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new layer, I'm going to reduce the opacity down so that sketch just slightly shows through here, which is what I do all the time. And then I'm going to open a new layer, drag it underneath the sketch, and I'm going to begin kind of painting. First, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to paint the background. So let's have a go at painting the background. And I think I'm going to use the gouache brush. So my favourite brushes to colour in are the gouache, which has this really, really nice texture to it. It kind of gives that natural feel. And it's also, if we go into calligraphy here, it's also the script pen, which I use for line art as well. And that's just a solid block colour, but I enjoy colouring in with this because it just looks really good. So I'm just going to go in with, I think, the gouache brush, and I'm going to paint the shop front behind her. I want kind of a natural feel to it, and the gouache brush is really, really good for giving that kind of natural look. So that's what I'm going to use. Now I'm just going in with a smudge tool, which is set to stucco, and I'm just blending in the gouache in the back, because with the gouache, if you overlay it, it has like this kind of watercolour effect, and I want this to look more solid in the background, so I'm just blending it in with the smudge tool. Okay, so for hair, and leggings in a bag, I kind of want to do this really deep purple colour based off the background colour. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch that as if she's kind of got black on, but that will be in replacement for the black. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the gouache again, and I'm going to colour her in. See, the gouache really does add a really nice texture to the image. So what I tend to find is with the gouache you have to do multiple layers. So what I tend to do is I tend to get something like the script pen and I just put a swatch over here. Sometimes if you try and pick the colour from the palette like this, it will be slightly lighter because it only went on obviously in a thinner layer than if it was a solid colour. So that's what I'm just doing the swatches for. So now we've got her hair in a bag and everything done, I'm actually going to start with the top layer, which is the line art layer, which is what people actually use before. Now sometimes I do the line art before and go in with a colour, and sometimes I do it this way around, especially if I want this kind of textured, more natural effect. I'll go in with the lines afterwards and like the details and stuff. And sometimes I'll leave this sketch underneath because I want that kind of rough feel to it. So I'm going to open a new layer, and for the lines I'm actually going to use a 6B pencil, what I sketched in, because I kind of like the way she looks with those pencil eyes and stuff, and I'm thinking her eyes would be nice in that purple colour too. So I'm going to go in and do the details with the 6B pencil, and yeah, kind of finish her off. For the outlines of the core, I'm actually going to drop my pen tool. I'm actually going to hold my finger down and colour drop, and use the colour that I get from the colour drop to kind of do the outlines of the jacket. So I'm just going in and I'm cleaning up the sketch underneath where the boots are and stuff, because I want to clean this bit up. So I'm just erasing parts of the sketch, but I do like the roughness of some of the sketch showing through. So I'm not going to completely erase all of it, because I like to try and emulate traditional wherever possible. So that's what I'm currently doing now. I'm cleaning up the underneath base sketch like so. Now I'm going in with a new layer, and I'm going to add some cheek details, the colouring of the cheeks and stuff. And I normally select like a nice soft pink. And again, I'm going to use the gouache brush from the artistic section to do all like the colour and stuff of her like nose and everything. Okay, so I've done the base sketch, the base colour, and kind of cleaned up my sketch and everything, and now it's time to go in with some shadows and things like that. And yeah, what I normally do for shadows and stuff is I open a new layer and I select that layer to multiply, and I change the opacity to around about 30 to 40% depending on the illustration, and I'll adjust it as I see fit. And I'm just going to use a colour from the background to shade with, and now I'm just going to go in and shade, and I think I'm going to use the 6B pencil, just keeping up with what I've already been using. Now I'm just going to turn the pen on its side to use for shading just around here, and it kind of gives this really nice touch. This is what I love about the 6B pencil. If you turn it on its side like this, it kind of emulates a real pencil, as if you're rubbing the side of the pencil against it, which gives this nice textured kind of gradient, which is really, really nice for shading. So I'm just going to shade using this because I absolutely love the texture that this gives. Okay, so now that I've done the base shading, I'm actually going to go in again with another layer, and I'm going to select this to colour burn this time. Now this isn't something that I always do, but sometimes I feel like the lines need darkening up in certain areas to kind of make it look more dynamic. So I tend to go in with the colour burn, and that kind of just adds a little bit more depth because I can darken up certain areas of the illustration, and colour burn is great for that. So I'm just going to go in with colour burn. I am going to turn the opacity down slightly so it's not as harsh, and yeah, I'm going to darken up some areas of the illustration which I feel need to pop a little bit more, just to give it more kind of depth, and yeah, make the shading a bit darker at certain areas of the illustration. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm actually going to do some background details and stuff now. I'm really happy with how she turned out. It's got a really nice texture going on the illustration, which I really, really like. The only thing I'm not sure on is this orange. It kind of doesn't go with the rest of the colour palette, but I can change that when I've finished. But first of all, I'm going to go in with some background details. So I'm just going to drop the purple colour, and I'm just going to keep with the 6B pencil, I think, and I'm just going to add yeah, some details to the background. Do it. It looks pretty cute. And then I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to bunch all of these in a group. Group it like that. And then I'm going to paste it into place because I'm just going to do some slight changes to the colours and stuff. So I always keep a transparent PNG handy. for when I use Procreate, and I'm just creating a clipping mask so I can change the colour of my logo like that. I think I'm going to keep it bright. It looks kind of cool. So this is kind of the before and after. So as you can see, I painted it quite desaturated and now it's super saturated. I think that's it. I'm going to stop right there and end the illustration there, because the more I do it, the more I end up absolutely ruining it. But that is basically the process, my creative process on illustrating on Procreate. Now sometimes I don't always use a 6B pencil, but I do tend to use the gouache a lot, and I definitely use the script pen a lot as well. So here I use a 6B pencil to do like the line art and stuff, but sometimes I do use the script pen, which is fantastic. But those are my favourite brushes: 6B pencil, gouache, script pen. This is how it's turned out. It's pretty cute. I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I use on Procreate. Let me know if you want to see more of a Procreate series and trying out new brushes and stuff, because I'll be interested to see what type of other textured brushes there is available, because I do like that textured kind of traditional look but made digital. So let me know what you think about that. And yeah, I hope you have found this video helpful and you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Alright then, love you. Goodbye.